LOLOLOL, white America, assassinate my character. Money matrimony, yeah, they tryna break the marriage up. Who gon' act phony, ya? Who gon' try to embarrass ya? I'ma need a day off, I think I call Ferris up.
Alright, we got episode 2, season 2. We got a very, very, very special person in the building. For all the people out in the gym are wondering, who is this dog? How is he trained the way he is? And they always ask all these questions. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally put a face to the person. We have Seven, aka K9 Vibes, in the building. Thank you for hopping on. She's literally in full work mode. As you can tell, I'm representing. She's got her dogs in the truck right now. It's fully vamped out. She is the best in the city. I'm not just saying that because obviously she's in this chair right now, but I'm saying that because if you can't tell by now, Congo is surrounded by greatness, and Congo only is around greatness. So if we try not to use the F word a lot, so if we mess with her in a good way, it means she's one of the best at what she does. So, Seven, this is how we're going to get down. So this is what we do. So we have our sponsors. Shout out to all of our sponsors. One of our main ones is Regal Pools. So you just bought a home. And
I've been hitting Chat GPT with like put a pool in my backyard to see what it looks like, and I've been actually doing that. So
okay, well,
renovations are next.
Regal Pools, we gotta take care of her. He's a high dollar man, but you're a very high dollar person and important person, and we're gonna make this connection. So when she's ready to make that pool, we gotta take care of her because she's our special person, because Sly is everybody's gym dog, and she has more of the story than just Sly. So anyways, sponsors, Regal Pools. We got Phoebe Warren with Compass Realty. We got Sebastian Plumbing, who's back in the gym. Anyone else I'm missing? Diane Ginsburg, overall health guru. She's saving people left and right. And then also Legends, Congo 20. Get your Legends gear. You should probably get some. I'm going to hook you up with some.
I'm with it.
I'm going to hook you some with some. Congo 20 for all your Legends gear. You are going to take the honorary shot with us.
Yes,
so we're actually running out of a lot of stuff here.
It's a good problem.
We'll go with the Don Gato.
It's Vibes colors, baby.
Hey, K9 Vibes, man. The best dog trainer in the city. If they say they're the best and it's not her, they're not the best. Simple as that. It's an honor to have you in my home.
Man, it's an honor to be here, to do this with you in the room where a bunch of greats are in, and just nostalgic. I love it. All of this. I'm an 80s baby. I grew up in the 90s. You probably
really love all this stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Also, that's Dwightman and Freddie next to you.
Even freaking cooler.
Cheers.
Salud.
Thank you for coming on the Daily Dose.
Smooth. I love that bottle. Those are legit my colors. It's awesome.
Hear that, Don Gato? One of the best dog trainers. We've been trying to get some free Don Gato. Maybe they'll give it to her.
Dogs and tequila.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so, Seven. And what's great about this is I tell people, one, it gets me out my routine and gets you here to where we can have genuine conversation. But I low-key don't even know your story. I know some crazy things that's happened to her and her come up. And I think the reason why I've been attracted to you in that sense is because with the day I met her, when I was trying to find Sly, a trainer.
He was like this big guy.
Yeah.
He was tiny.
Aaron, you're going to have to put the picture right there of baby Sly.
Tiny.
And I knew that Sly was an investment. I told Priscilla that too. I said, this is going to be a big dog, and I want him trained like this. And technically speaking, Luna was supposed to be that dog, but Luna kind of conned us and thinking she was a pit bull, and she's not a pit bull.
Yeah.
So that's why we got Sly. So I was very concerned, and when I walked into the place that she was at the time, it was nothing but genuine love, and I felt my gut. And I brought Mo, and Mo's a good people person.
You did have some people.
And I remember seeing her dog. It was Jessie. Her dog's name is Jesse James, and to us, you know, Jesse James, West Coast Choppers, I'm like, oh, this lady's got a freaking Malinois. I thought it was a German Shepherd at the time. This is how uneducated I was with dogs. Mm-hmm. Jesse James, she's got tattoos. She's confident. I was like, man, I really, really, really like her. But some things happened to her along the way. So what I like to do is I like to know how the passion of dog training came about with you. If that was born with you, or you were just this dog guru, and the steps that took you to get to where you're at, and obviously the obstacles that face you in the adversity, which is why we were attracted to each other, because it's
100%.
like, low key, I went through some of the same stuff as you did.
A lot of people would quit during that.
Yeah. And, you know, you were going through that later on, and I loved your resilience. So I would love to get to that story too. But yeah, how did you even come about the dog life, man?
Funny thing, I never grew up wanting to be a dog trainer. Let's get that out the way.
Okay.
I loved dogs, but my mother's Turkish, so we grew up, like, animals didn't come in the house. Like, we weren't allowed to have animals. We weren't allowed to have dogs. So I never pictured that life for me because it was never allowed, right?
Yeah.
So come when I was, I was older, in my, like, late 20s, right? I had multiple jobs. Like, I can't sit still. Like, I gotta do stuff, right? So I was bartending at a strip club.
Nice.
And then
Are you in Houston? Are you from Houston?
No. This was back in Arizona, actually.
Okay.
So I was bartending out there.
You said strip club, so I was like, which strip club was she at?
No, not out here. I would have been in a lot of trouble out here. No, it was back home in Arizona. And then I also managed an adult store. And then during the week, from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., I would volunteer my time. So I wouldn't even get paid.
For the dogs?
I would volunteer my time at the shelter.
Oh, nice. Oh,
So
nice.
those were the three things that I was doing, like, on a daily basis, right? And so sorry, work phone.
That's right. She's a very important person. So you can check that phone whenever you need to. She's got
yeah, it's got dogs.
a lot of dogs.
No days off. But so what happened was every day, like, I would go help the dogs. I would meet the dogs. I would just pick up shit, poop and piss. Right?
Literally.
Like, I would literally. That's all I would do.
For
I
free.
didn't even get to for free. I would just go. But they loved how committed I was. They loved how I showed up. They loved how I was there on time every day without getting paid. That they offered me, like, a grandfathering position. There was a vet in that shelter. So they offered me a position to be, like, a vet tech, essentially. And that was paid. So I was
Nice.
like, oh, cool. Like, and I get paid now. Like, let's do it. And I get to learn, So it was something new for me. Like I said, I've always loved animals, just never thought I would have one. Right. So let me help in some way. So I started vet teching, but I'm not going to lie, bro. Mentally, like, I couldn't handle it. It was, we were euthanizing like 20, 25 dogs a day, bro.
See,
Right.
and the thing with that is when you said the vet tech, the first thing that popped in my head was when I thought about, remember I found Biggie and Faith, and it's like that all makes sense, because it's like you got guys like me that come in, to people like you, hey, I found these dogs, or this, and then you have to end up doing what you have to do anyways.
It sucks.
Yeah,
No, it sucks. So, and there is, shelters out there that don't kill, but in Arizona, this was an overrun. It was a crowded shelter. Like, people were dropping their dogs off every day for stupid reasons. Like, I would look at the kennels, it would say, like, jumping on counters, or peeing in the living room, like, chewed the door, or had this dog for 12 years, moving, can't take dog. And I'm like, bro, what? Like, and we're euthanizing these dogs. Happy as ever, bro. Like, coming in, and, like, mentally, it rocked me to my core, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I can even start crying now about it. Like, bro, it's just, these are just lives that were just for no reason. And this is where I try to tell people, like, I love rescuing dogs, I love helping dogs, but I had to teach myself, you can't save them all. You can't.
Yeah,
Right.
Priscilla, I'm sorry. That's what she tells me all the time.
You can't save them all. You can't, because I would run myself to the ground to help dogs. And it's like, what about my dogs at home?
Yeah.
I can't take your sick dog in and get my dog sick, as much as I wanted help. And there was situations where I couldn't help. And so having to experience that heartbreak over and over and over again, like, it was just one of those where it was like, you learn to be tough a little bit.
Yeah.
And you learn to just, hey, I can't save them all. I can one at a time, right? But I see that dog there, I'm going to call animal control and keep it moving. I can't. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks. It sucks that we're picking up other people's crap. You know what I'm saying? But that's the reality of it. And so when I was doing that, I was like, there's got to be something we can do. Like, there's got to be something, And that's when they were in partner with a training facility that was, like, right down the street. And they told me, like, why don't you go over there then? Like, they like I said, they saw my passion. They saw my love. They loved how into it I was. They wanted to keep me in the industry. So they made me meet this lady, and I ended up getting hired to be a kennel tech. So started kennel teching, same thing that I was doing at the shelter, picking up crap, picking up pee, getting peed on, getting snapped at, like, you know, like, and luckily I did all that first because it plays a huge role into being a dog trainer, you know, like I was able to understand behavior, which made dog training so much easier. There's a lot of people that will try to train dogs without even understanding behavior first, you know, and it makes it very complicated. So I got to see different personalities, different dogs, scared dogs, aggressive dogs, like everything, goofy dogs, ugly dogs, pretty dogs, like everything, you know. So it was that helped me, you know, learn behavior, and I started kennel teching, and then from kennel teching I worked my way up. Like I became like a daycare attendant, you know, so started being able to read body language and dog group plays, you know, and which, by the way, don't ever take your dogs to daycare, guys. Don't do it. It's a setup.
There you go.
Or dog parks. But it's I learned again more behavior, and then from there, like, is where I met Jesse. Okay, so I met Jesse. He was I think he was imported by a trainer that was already there. She had brought 2 dogs in. It was a brother and a sister, so it was Jesse James and his sister, and of course, I was the cleaning person, so I would come in and I would clean every day. And for some reason, this little Malinois at 3 months old was super aggressive, like already displaying very aggressive behaviors. Like, of course, he's not going to, like, whoop me because he's little, but to already display all those behaviors, like, you can't really mess with that. You know what I'm saying? So they had these kennel runs where, like, it would open the middle door and the dog would go in and you could come back, like, clean it and then bring it back out. So that's how I would meet him every day. Like, I would open the thing, and he would just crap his kennel and paint every freaking morning. Like, that's what I would walk into, okay? He just painted his kennels, just crapping in it every day. So I would put him on the other side, I'd close it, I'd clean it. And then one day I thought I closed it, I guess the guillotine, and I didn't. And he came into the other side, and he actually was not mean at all. Like, didn't try to bite me this time. Like, kind of was just like, oh, it's you. Like, we just had a connection. I don't know how to describe it, but it was just something clicked. And I was like, I like this puppy. Like, started thinking about him more and more every day, and I was like, bro, he's just in his kennel. Like, he's not doing anything. Like, he's still young. Like, I was single and alone at the time, so I was like, you know, I asked the owner of the building, like, can I just take him home and work with him a little bit? And the reason, I kind of went too far ahead, but the reason why they ended up being there was because that trainer got fired.
Okay.
She got fired, so she ended up leaving the dogs and all that shit, and so the owner of the building had to take care of these dogs, which she didn't know anything about, right? And so I asked her, could I take him home and just kind of train him until we find him a home, you know, just kind of work with him, like just build a relationship with him, like just show him some structure. Like I didn't know anything about training, but I just didn't want him in the kennel all the time, you know? So I brought him home and I learned. I put my head in the books and I studied and I watched and I read, and it was a naive time in my life because I was just taking everything in that I was reading on the internet, and looking back at it now, I'm like, ooh, you know? Yeah. But I was working with him, I was training with him, and then it was just one of those, like, who rescued who, you know?
So that's Jesse on the shirt then, huh?
So this is Jesse's son.
Okay.
So this is the updated, the 2.0, but the first logo ever that I ever made is Jesse.
See, I had no idea that it was Jesse who's basically what got you...
1,000%. So I became obsessed. I was just like you, reaching out to trainers. Hey, like, can I... I knew I didn't have a house pet dog. I knew that this dog was bred for greatness. It's a dog that military uses. It's a dog that law enforcement uses, you know? Well,
that was my next question. When you initially got him and you were working with him, did you ever... I know you were studying and getting in the books and trying to figure things out, but did you ever have, like, fuck, I don't think he did this? He's too aggressive? Or did you have any...
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Really?
It was not easy. It was not easy at all. And that's why I always say, though, like, a well-behaved dog doesn't make a skillful handler. You know what I'm saying? Like, looking back at it, had he not put me through the ringer like that in all of our situations, even during, like, maturity levels, like, we would have standoffs, like, he would bite me, like, even through all of that, like, I learned, I bettered our relationship, I figured him out, and I was like, bro, I still want this dog. Like, this, I don't want easy. I don't want easy. Everybody has easy, you know, and this is what separates me from everybody else. I don't want easy. Like, I want this. I met trainers. I became obsessed.
Okay.
Like, head in the books. took courses at one of the best dog training schools out here and got certifications. Like I took it and ran with it. And then I started like training, you know, like friends' dogs, and then like family's dogs, and then like, you know, neighbors' dogs. And then I like was like, oh crap, like I could really do something with this. Like I never grew up wanting to be a dog trainer. Like I never thought existence ever that this was something that I would do. And it's because of Jesse. It's 100% because of Jesse. So I learned, and I learned with one of the hardest breeds out there, and it made a lot of things easy.
See, they talk about how dogs, like humans don't deserve dogs, right?
Oh man.
And
no, because we don't know jack about loyalty.
And exactly.
And unconditional love.
So
like
think about that.
We know unconditional love, but we don't. I always tell people, a dog next to your mother is the only thing in this world that loves you more than itself.
Yeah.
Only.
Yeah.
Only thing.
Facts. And the crazy thing about that is, like I said at the beginning, it was because of Jesse is what attracted me to you. And looking at that story, look how loyal that dog was to you. And my eye went to him. Mm-hmm. And that dog was already telling me, hey, she's the one.
Yeah.
She's good. Me and you are good. And, yeah.
Well, like, look at your shirt. What does your shirt say?
I don't even remember. I know it said dictates behavior. Relationship dictates behavior. Yeah, you were saying that. So that's even cooler to hear that say that, because she's telling her story. And this is her slogan. And I love how you branded and took that, but how organically, as she was learning and all that stuff, you were already talking about that.
So to be clear, I didn't take it. I took it from another trainer who I admire. And I will always say it to this day. Like Dave from Canine Karma, like phenomenal trainer. That's who said that, because he's the one who actually broke it down to me. Like I was able to actually understand that in that mindset, because I was like, damn, like everything, the way he teaches and trains is what I naturally did with Jesse.
One of our sponsors is Stevie Warren, your Houston real estate pro and fellow Congo warrior. Listen, you don't come to Congo for easy workouts, and you shouldn't settle for a pushover agent either. When it's time to buy or sell, you want someone who can handle the heat and fight your battles. Call Thebe. If she can survive Congo, she can handle any real estate hurdle. Save your sweat for the gym, not your real estate deal. Call Thebe Warren.
I naturally had a relationship. I respected him. He respected me. Like, I didn't go around yelling at him, beating at him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he challenged me. I respected it. Like, at the end of the day, like, these are apex predators. It doesn't matter how much they love us. It's still an animal at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You got to have respect for it. And so everything that he would say about that, and that's why I took it and ran with it, because I truly believe in that. And that's with anything. It doesn't have to be a dog. That's with Priscilla. That's with your mom. That's with your sister. That's with him. That's with me. If you're a crappy person to me, like, I'm not going to be good to you.
Yep.
I'm not even going to help you. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. I give what I get. If not, I give more. You be good to me, I'll be greater to you.
1,000%. Living proof of that.
And so it's one of those things where it's like, it was the same concept for the dog. And this dog, Dose, when I'm alone. I'm a female. My father passed away. Okay, when my dad died, I hit a huge depression. Okay, I didn't even get up and feed myself.
How old were you when that happened?
He passed away in 2017.
Okay.
So that's it was about almost 2 years that I had Jesse already.
You were pretty close with your father?
Oh, yeah. It was my stepdad, too. But that's the man who raised me. That's the man who taught me my manners. That's the man who taught me respect. That's the man who taught me how to change a tire, like how to communicate, like just everything, you know? And because my mother, she was young. She was 17 when she had me. And she's a foreigner trying to live the American dream, doesn't know anything about it. You know, all she knows is she has to work to provide for me. So I learned everything from him, you know? And so when he passed away, like, I hit that hard depression where it was like, I wouldn't even get out of bed. I wouldn't feed myself. I wouldn't take a shower. Like, it was bad, bro. And so every morning, Jesse's face right there. What are we doing? Take the ball. Let's go. I got to feed you. I got to walk you. Let's go.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do it for myself. And guess what I got with that? The loyalty. True unconditional love. Right? Didn't care if I was stinky. Didn't care if I didn't get out of bed. He'll get in bed with me. Yeah. And this is a dog that's meant to run, to play. Hey, Mom, you're here in bed. Let me be here with you. You know? And so I owe my life to that dog. Everything. And I had a friend that lived in Houston. And she said, Seven,
you have a gift. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Wake up. She said, come out here, live with me, bring your dogs. She took me and my 2 Malinois in, bro. She's got cats. She's got a dog in her house. She didn't give a crap. Bring your 2 dogs, come to Houston. Stayed with her for 2 months. Worked for an amazing company. Got on my feet, found an even better company. And I was making $20 an hour training dogs. It doesn't sound like a lot to some people now, you know? But to me then, I went from getting $4 or $5 an hour to train dogs, you know?
And you're at the strip clubs, and you're out the other play. Like,
Hustling, you know? And so, because I didn't have things to fall back on, you know? So I had to make ends meet. I grew up really fast, and I had to keep working, you know? And so the only difference between the dogs and another job is I loved this. I loved waking up every morning. I loved going to work. I loved being with the dogs. I was excited, you know?
Yeah.
$4 an hour I would do it all day again for $4 an hour.
And see, what's crazy about that is I don't know what your belief in God or the universe or whatever you look
higher
at.
power for sure.
And, you know, I'm hearing your story, and I'm big on signs. Like, I believe in a higher power too, and I believe there's a God. And
For sure.
And I get these signs every time he's talking to me and showing me things. I'm like, okay, I see what you're telling me. I'm following that path. And it's like, this is where you always wonder, like with death and life, why people get taken from you or why you lose people. But again, this is coming from my side. You know, you lost your father, you know, God rest his soul. And here's this dog placed. Oh, got me. I'm gonna start crying.
Yeah, no, it's that's the truth.
And here's this dog that comes in your life, and this dog is
He
what's
became
gonna,
my protector.
Yeah.
He became my guide. You know, I moved to Houston. I lived by myself in a little area that I just liked how much the rent was. I didn't know, you know, like I liked the little. It was a little like where you can look over at the bottom. Like I can't even think of the word right now. But like
Loft?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was a loft. And so like we moved there, and like when I tell you, like the neighbor next to me got robbed, person above me got robbed, cars got broken into, but nobody ever fucked with my shit. Like ever. Sorry guys. Nobody ever messed with my stuff. Nobody ever did. Like he was my protector. I felt safe. I could pump my gas at 3 a.m. You know, and not worry about it because my boy's right here.
Yeah.
You know, and so you're 100% right. Like that was my gift. Like that was, hey,
I'm taking this from you, but hey, here's this. This is gonna get back to you tenfold because it's gonna create your life. It's gonna create your income. I'm gonna get you to find your beautiful wife that you're married to now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna create this beautiful picture, even though it's tough right now. And that's what I go back to telling people is like, and I literally talked about this on the last podcast. The season of change. A lot of change is happening right now for a lot of people. And I got friends, and you know, even Priscilla. Like I tell them, I was like, this change and this rough stuff that you're going through is what's on the other side is something so special that you can't see it, but that's where like your faith in God or whatever faith it is you have is on the other side of that.
100%.
So it's seeing the unseen. So you didn't know God was going to place you with this dog, right?
Not at all.
You're just following this day-to-day routine, and you're in this hole, and probably the best person of your life is now gone. And like, what is going on in my life? And I got to go do these dogs. But like, I like this dog. I like that. I keep liking this, and he likes me. So it's like sometimes we lose things and we go through the worst shit. But on the other side of that is something so greater. And that dog literally created who Seven is to this day.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. Everything. My logo, my name, my vision, my love, my passion. Like, you know, I grew up loving animals, but I wouldn't dare look twice at one. Like, oh, cool. You know, now I'm like, what can I do? Everything.
Yeah.
You know, like he's changed my whole life.
For sure.
Because, like I said, it's that unconditional love, that true loyalty. And when I tell you, like, we all have our dogs that like follow us around and like they don't want to be without us. But like when I tell you this dog lives for me, like this dog lives for me. Like if he was in here right now, he'd just be like this at me.
Speaking
Not
of
looking
that,
at anything.
we should have done that. We should have tried that with all the dogs to see how that would work. I
Can't do it to
you,
Sly in his
Can you control all of
territory.
them? How great are you?
We could definitely
Get this-
control all of them.
Get this
But
real time.
Remember, you gotta have respect.
Yeah, that's true.
You gotta have respect. I have very dominant males. I don't want to disrespect Sly. This is Sly's territory.
It's a big puppy.
It's doable. It's possible.
Yeah, you know what your territory, huh,
But there's
Bobby,
definitely
though?
going to be some emotions, right? some on edge, huh, buddy?
Oh yeah, you all talking about me? So you got to the loft, you're doing your stuff, and then
Yeah.
what happened after that?
I worked for a company out here. It was
Okay.
one of the best companies out here in Houston. They did all kinds of training. I had an understanding of like house pet stuff.
Okay.
You know, a little bit of working dogs, a little bit of like bite work, but on the handler side. I never was like a decoy or on the other side, right? So I knew a little bit of things here and there. And then when I got to this trainer out here, he kind of actually no he did he put me on to like taught me how to decoy like on the other side now, you know, explained working dogs to me, showed me like the right way on how to work with genetics and not against them, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the times people get like shepherds or working breeds and they're like, oh, you know, my dog's attacking my kids and biting my kids, and you know, and it's just like, well, you got like a shepherd, like it's a herding dog, like it herds cattle, like it's, you know, any commotion, it's meant to do that, you know, and so then you get those people that hit their dogs or yell at their dogs for doing things that they're bred to do, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, and so it causes a lot of confusion, you know, and it you start to deteriorate your relationship with your dogs and things like that. You know, so it's one of those things like going back to what I was saying earlier. Respect is huge. Respect is huge. You have to respect the dog 100%. So he taught me all of that. I learned all of that, and he trusted me so much. And he was a big name. You know, he worked with a lot of high end clientele, and he trusted me so much to essentially run his business. Like I would answer the DMs, like I would answer the phone, like I would hold the evals, like you called him and I held your eval, you know? So it's like, it's one of those things where like, I literally ran this man's business, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm thankful for that because it showed me and taught me how to do it and put me in a position where I'm at today to do it for myself, you know? So it's, I'm very grateful for that. But every step that I've taken out here has just been elevation every time.
Yeah.
I can't be stagnant. You know,
No,
like
never.
I gotta keep doing something because I don't have family to fall on if something happens. You
Yep.
know, I can't. You're not gonna pay all my bills next month. You know what I'm saying? Like if I call you and say I can't pay my bills, like, you know. So it's just like having that type of mentality. I know that I can't stop. Work always comes first.
Yep, and that's where I talk about how, you know, The Rock always talks about having your back against the wall. It's the people who don't have no other choice to succeed are the ones that either succeed or they don't because they let shit get in the way of it, and not, you know, when you made that transition, and you could talk about it more too, when you made that transition, here you are, you found yourself a home, and you're training all these dogs and all this stuff and knowledge you learn here. You were probably thinking, this is the freeway ride to where I'm supposed to be in life. All is gravy.
Yeah.
I'm a great trainers. I'm in a great location. I'm helping dogs. And then guess what happens? Life happens. You had a transition at that place. How did you respond to that? And what ultimately morphed into Canine Vibes? Like your calling with that.
So Canine Vibes has always been Canine Vibes.
Okay.
It just never was as big.
Got
Like
it.
that has always just been my brand. Like Canine Vibes has just always been me. I'm very everything's energy, right? You feel energy from everything. And so vibes never lie, and so that's just always been
Bam.
my thing, you know? And so and being with the dogs, like my whole life shifted. I went from, you know, strippers to dogs. I just only cared about dogs.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what can I learn about dogs? So everything just became canine, you know? So that has always been there. But again, having had that platform and being able to meet people and show people my work and what I am capable of doing, and people enjoying it and people liking it and people being able to see that proof and building rapport, because I hate even talking like this, but part of my job is I change people's lives. You know, like I don't like putting that much on my plate because I don't want to have that much power over people. But people have straight up told me, like, you've changed my life. Like, these are things that I never thought I'd be able to do. Mm-hmm. And when somebody comes up to you and tells you, this is a true story. I had a woman one time tell me that the way I teach dog training and the way I do it, it made her a better mother
to her children.
Damn.
And that was huge to me, you know, because my job is to help you guys communicate with something that'll never be a human. It'll never speak English, right? So how do we communicate with this, right? And so a lot of people think getting a dog is getting a dog, bringing it home, here's some water, here's some food, let's go for a walk, that's it. Sure, that can be your life if that's what you want, but these dogs are capable of doing so much. So much. Like my dog brings in groceries, turns on and off lights, like, you know what I'm saying, finds, you could hand me anything on your body right now and I'll hide it and that boy will find it, you know, like, it's just, these dogs are great. Like I said, higher security for 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, you're easily spending 35 to 45 grand a week. I got my dog every day, 24/7, and my dog hears better than your security officer. Okay, my dog smells better than your security guard, all right? And I put relationship into this. I put training into it. Granted, if you're getting a dog from somewhere, you're going to pay some money, right? But that 30 grand into a dog that you'd be paying for 1 week of security, you could put into a dog and have 15 years of security.
Hell yeah.
You know? And so, like I said, it's just everything that these dogs give me and pay me, I have never gotten from anybody else. And it's crazy. Like, you would think, like, humans or a parent or a best friend would love you unconditionally and be loyal to you 24/7. But going back to when people's backs are against the wall, a lot of people don't know how to behave. A lot of people fold, right? And so, especially when money's involved.
Yeah.
Okay? I was, like, starting to realize now, like, not that I'm rich or anything, but I can't be around people that are, I don't want to say broke, but that have less money than me. Because jealousy comes with that. Envy comes with that, you know? And it sucks because I'm not the type of person to, like, flash my money.
Yeah, because you were the hustler too. You were on the come up, and you know what that feels
Took
like.
16 years. You know what I'm saying? But it's like dealing with people that don't have that drive or want to get to where you are.
But they want what you have.
They want it, but they don't want to put in the work. That creates a lot of jealousy. And people's, like, your friends around you are going to start looking at you like, ugh, he's doing all this and doing all that. Because they can't go do those things. Or they can't afford those things, you know? And so I think definitely, I know we kind of veered off track, but, like, watch the company you keep, you know? Like, it's taught me a lot of lessons. Like, I have to, again, going back to what we were saying earlier, we got to be around people that want to hustle, that want to work, that understand, like, we can't, especially in this economy, like, we can't stop.
No.
We can't right now. We love America. We love having the freedom of speech. We love everything that America has to offer us. Yet a lot of these people aren't doing what it takes to live this American dream or make this succeed, you know?
And that's the thing when people get confused too. As Will Smith said, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody wants what you got, but
They don't want to
put the work in. And then when they see you living a lavish lifestyle, but living, what's it called? Your fruits of your labor, is how they say it?
Yes.
Enjoying the fruits of your labor, there's that jealousy and there's that envy. And that envy turns into hate and fake love and fake support because I'm living proof of that. And, you know, you mentioned the company you keep. I'm big on just now at a point in my life is like, I don't tolerate bullshit. Like, I don't need to explain myself to you because I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want you around me anymore or give you a reason why. Like, my younger self would be like, okay, we can have a conversation. We can do this.
Right.
But no,
you want people to like you. Like, why aren't you liking me?
You moved how you moved.
Exactly.
You showed me who you are. Hey, I'm not mad at you. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just doing my thing. And it's your loss because you could have been a part of this, but I don't want people like that around me. And I'm going to the top, and people that are going to the top don't have morals and ethics like the way I see that you've operated. So I'm going to keep on protecting my tribe, my circle, my peace, my vibes, and keep elevating. And it's people like you and them who want what we got, but they don't want to put the work in, so they're going to shit on it to make sure that you don't succeed. But what they don't understand is is when you talk like that and you talk bad behind our backs, or you don't want us to win. One, we have God on our side. Two,
100%.
that is just a fire in the flame that keeps us going. And I want to bring this up because you'll never say it. As a dog trainer, there is no me time. Literally. I am the only crazy guy that wakes up at 2:50 in the morning, and if I text her, this lady is up because she's taking dogs out, she's feeding, she's walking, and then she does it and repeats it, and then she works again and works again. So when she gets the chance to take a vacation, she deserves to take that vacation, and she's worked her ass off to have that vacation.
Oh, man, it took
And then
like 8
guess
years.
what? And guess what? She's still taking care of those dogs and got people blowing up her phone. Every time she was out of town or if she was gone and something happened and I called her, she was immediately answered. She immediately called. She immediately responds. And she still makes herself accessible even when she shouldn't be accessible. So if you're an aspiring dog trainer or if you're somebody in her circle, sit there. Who was it? I think it was Tosh. Damn, who was it? They shut the fuck up. Damn, what was that video I watched? Was it a comedian? It's going to come to me. I'll look for it. I think it was Toby. Anyways, the thing was, when you got, it was a comedian or something, and the advice that he got was, or maybe it was Gary. Maybe it was Gary Owen. It'll come to me. They said, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. Just shut up. And the reason why they said that was because when you shut your mouth and so if I'm learning from you or I want to be around you, I'm not going to say shit. I'm going to watch what you do. I'm going to watch how you act, and I'm going to learn and pick up on that. And I'm going to be spoken to when I need to be, because if I open my mouth and act like I know something when I don't, that's when you get in trouble.
100%.
So it's going to come to me. Remind me on that note to find that video of shut the fuck up. It was either Toby, Gary, or Todd sent me it. Maybe it was Sataj, because you can't assume you know everything or want to know everything. And this would be a great little break, too, to get to our sponsors, because she's probably got about 100 messages to check on. So go and check on those messages. Regal Pool. Summer's just better with a darn pool in your backyard. Regal Pools builds award-winning custom pools for families across Houston, made for memories, built to last, like America. Ready to get started? Call Josh at Regal Pools and tell him Dose sent you, or see their links in the show notes for more information. This is what the source was.
Hello? I'm not joking. No, dead serious. Yeah.
Paul Aaron hired me.
Stop talking.
This is a comedian.
Okay.
Like this is how I went into the job. This is no lie. They had hired me to write on A Different World, and I had a guy named Paul Aaron that I knew. Lovely man. I love this man. And he said, "I'm gonna give you some advice, kid, and I want you to take this advice very seriously for me, okay?" I said, "Okay, Mr. Aaron." He said, "Kid, when you get in this room and you're in a room with a bunch of 50-year-old comedy writers that worked on this show, okay, they're not gonna think you're funnier than them. They're not gonna care about you at all. So what I want you to do for the first 14 weeks of your 26-week contract is shut the fuck up. When I say shut the fuck up, I mean don't talk at all unless spoken to for 14 weeks. Wow. And when you are done with that 14-week period, that is when you can begin to try to pitch a joke. And let me tell you why. You got to understand the room. You have to understand the window. You have to understand what they respond to. And if you don't know any of that other, could you pitch a joke? You got to impress them with your. You're so funny.
Right.
Shut the fuck up. And I was like, best advice was.
There you go. Shut the fuck up.
100%. Listen.
Lie, he wasn't talking to you because he was doing his job. She was just saying, security dogs smell, hear, and everything. He didn't even know. And there was somebody at the door. And I think probably because he heard the buzzer, but he probably smelled it. He's looking at the camera, too. He's letting you know. Can you see him on the camera?
He working.
That's all right.
Say he's never off the clock.
But anyways, yeah, shut the fuck up. She put her time in. She's working her ass off. If you want to learn from people like that, and goes for me, too, like with interns. If you just observe and watch what I do and operate, observe, and then you put your input in. And then that's when you build trust. And then after that, I know you've been through some situations with trust and people, which is why we only fuck with dogs. And I'll let you elaborate on that more. After that, it's on you to figure out how people are. 100%. You can only do so much because I know you've had such close people. People that worked with Sly, I trusted because I trust her. So if she's going to have somebody work with Sly, no problem. Because of that brand, because of that individual, that person can work with them. And even people like that have kind of fucked her over and left her hanging to dry. So yeah.
and not like those people weren't like bad with dogs. That wasn't the issue.
Okay.
They were just bad people in general.
I would say
Right.
more bad towards you in the sense of here you are trying to give to others, just like I give to so much, and you give, you trust, and in return, what do you get?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
And
Heartbreak.
disloyalty and heartbreak.
Literally, no. And that's my biggest issue, I think, that I've been dealing with for the past couple of years now, is I have a hard time differentiating, am I really helping this person that needs help? Or is this their karma and I'm interrupting it?
Got it.
Right? Does that make sense? So I find myself interrupting a lot of people's karma because I want to help so bad. I feel sorry for people, right? Then, like you say, you spend some time with people, you get to see people, the people that don't just shut the fuck up will start to show themselves, right? And then you start seeing those people, and it's like, now I know why you were going through what you were going through. I get it now. No, your relationship with your mom or your dad isn't like that because it's the them thing. It's 1000% you. You keep going through these bad experiences in life because you make those decisions. I hate to say it, but these people make their own bed. You have to lay in it.
Yeah.
You can't go around and do people dirty at your expense. I don't care how low you are. You don't do people dirty. It will always come back to you, right? It will always come back to you. And I've been the type that's like, I don't want to say I don't care about money, because I do. It takes care of my dogs. It pays my bills, right? But my thing is, money isn't a be-all, need-all for me, right? And I, because I feel like people that even have that mentality where money's everything will screw you over.
Yeah.
If money presents itself on the table, right? And my mentality is like, if I died right now, what's my money gonna do? You know what I'm saying? People aren't gonna talk about me and my money. You know, like if I were to die right now, the one thing that I think is so important for me as a person to take with me is, as being man, and I don't mean man like with balls, I mean like human, like as being mankind, like being man, all we have is our word. I want people to talk about what I did for them when I pass away, how I treated people, how I helped people, how I changed lives. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about money. Money would never make me change the type of person that I am. Money could never make me change my morals. Money could never make me change my ethics. Like, yes, money is a bonus, but I mean, I know people like that have so much money they're broke. You know?
Yeah, I know millionaires and people
Literally.
are just
Exactly.
miserable with their lives.
So it's like, yeah, sure, money's fun. Yes, it can get by on things, you know, ultimately. But at the end of the day, like, my word means everything. How I made somebody feel during something means everything to me. You know, being able to open people's doors and careers and make dog trainers and give those people the same feeling that I got, you know, that's what I want to take with me. You know what I'm saying? And so that's really my biggest thing, is like you were saying, like I went through that and experiencing that, and I want to help so bad, and I want people to have the same feeling that I got, and I want people to love this, because we're not going to be here forever. We got to pass the torch at some time, you know, like at some point the torch has to be passed. And I fear with a lot of society today, like the younger people, nobody wants to work, bro. Everybody's entitled. Like, nobody wants to work. An 8-hour shift is all hell. And I'm like, bro, what?
Or if you ask a little bit more from them, no, I can't make it. No, I'm gonna do no.
I'm just like, wow. Like, we're not, like, our future is fucked. Like,
Yep.
we're not going to have any firemen. We're not going to have any cops. Like, nobody wants to work.
And this is not a political podcast at all, and this has nothing to do with political.
No.
It's literally it's the future of our world is
Literally.
what she's talking about and what I preach about, which is why I'm so hard on any clients' kids I get. Man, I'm all about work ethic.
You
I'm all about
have
pushing
to.
through it. I'm about, you want to throw up, you want to quit. And once I get a little bit more trust too, I'm hard on them. I was like, you're going to thank me later. And if you don't thank me, you don't want to come back, you're not meant for this, and you'll eventually figure
They'll
it out.
never forget it, though.
No.
They'll never forget. And then when they get to that age where it'll finally hit them, they'll be like, oh, damn. You know, I've done the same thing with my mother. Like, I got to an age where I was like, damn, my mom was right. You know, like, looking back at it, like, we don't want to hear that stuff. It goes down to dogs too. Like, people come to me when there's already so many problems. So now I'm the bad guy because I have to tell your dog no, and I have to set your dog boundaries that you've never done, right? Same thing with people. Like, now we got to come in and be the bad guy, but in reality, I'm hard on you because I care. Nobody else in your corner wants the best for you. Everybody else is going to enable the bullshit that you do. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing is too, is as older as I've gotten, it's the grown men, Dose. It's the grown men that are straight bitches. Like, I don't know what you got in your gym, but in the dog industry, these grown men are bitches. They're worse than females. They're all low vibrational females. Like, it's crazy to me. You know, it's so crazy to me. And I'm like, where's our men going? You know, like, damn. Like, what? It's just
that's a political
and I can say that. Well, like, and I can say that because, like, I've hired on these people. Like, I've brought these people on. I've done it, you know. And it's like I was telling you earlier. Like, what do you mean working 5 days a week and 7 hours or 8 hours a day with an animal that's living and breathing is too much for you to work? And you're supposed to run your own business out of your house, but 8 hours is too much for you to work. And 5 days, you're not going to get that comfort anywhere else. Because if you're at your own house, you're working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You don't get to wake up one day and not feed the dog. You don't get to wake up one day and not give the dog water. You don't get to wake up one day and not take the dog out for a walk. Who the fuck do you think you are? Get up and take care of that dog. You're taking somebody's money to take care of their children. You know, we're not making Subway sandwiches where I could fuck up somebody's order and they come back next week.
Yep.
No, dude.
And I love that you're saying that, because I send this to all like my real entrepreneurs. Everything you're spewing right now, this is literally what I send them.
I laugh every time I hear people saying, yeah, you know, I don't like working for other people, so, you know, I want to work for myself because I want to set my own hours. And let me tell you what, when you work for yourself, there's no Christmas, there's no fucking Easter. You're working through all those holidays. Every day something bad happens. Every day there's problems. Every day somebody's trying to fuck you and take what you built. It's a war.
Yeah.
And no offense to those people, but they're not dog trainers. This literally is a 24/7 job. Like I said, I don't get a day off. I do now because I've worked my way up to hire staff that I trust to be able to take care of the animals when I'm not training them. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my staff. Y'all are phenomenal. But I've worked my way up to hire that staff. But before that, when I was in my house, I had 20, 25 dogs easily.
Oh, I remember
Boarding and boarding trains. I was living in my home. I never left my home. You know what I'm saying? And that's how serious I took it, because I'll be damned if I take my dog somewhere and you have a hard time working 8 hours. What are you going to do at hour 17 and my dog needs water? You're not going to give it to him because you're clocked out?
Relationship dictates behavior.
That's crazy to me.
Humans.
That's crazy to me. And like I was telling you earlier, this is not a regulated industry, so anybody could be a dog trainer. Your neighbor right now could get a dog and train it to sit and down in 1 week and call himself a freaking trainer and go post on Facebook, and somebody might find their catchy, you know, writings and hit them up and ask for training. And 99% of these trainers don't have insurance. They don't take care of these dogs like they take care of their own, because they don't even take care of their own dogs that well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sure, you can love your dog, but if you'd rather go party and drink for the weekend knowing you've got client dogs in your house, what are you thinking? You can't do that. No.
I wouldn't want that for my dog.
I mentally, Dose, wouldn't be able to enjoy my night out knowing there's dogs at home that I don't know what's going on. Mentally, my mind wouldn't allow me to do that. So I wouldn't even be able to have fun. I wouldn't even be able to go out and have fun. Like, when I tell you I treat these dogs like they're mine, they're my dogs. And when I get these trainers and I tell them, like, hey, you guys get 2 days off. Hey, you guys have kennel techs here. You don't have to be here morning, noon, and night. You know what I'm saying? You can't go out after work, you know? Like, and it's just like, oh, that's too much? What are you going to do when it's in your house?
Yeah.
Just like that guy said, you think you want it, and then it's in your home, and you don't get holidays off. Holidays, Dose, is when I'm the busiest.
Same with us.
That's when I'm the busiest. Everybody's going on vacations. They want their dogs with me on holidays.
Yeah, they want the dogs with you on holidays, and they got to get their goddamn workout in before
Dude,
Christmas.
yeah,
and
of course. They need the summer body. That's why my wife is messing with you right now. She needs the summer body for next year. I'm telling you.
It's nonstop. It's nonstop.
So it's nonstop. And then that also is what separates us from every other trainer on the corner.
It's a super, super pleasure of ours to be partnered with Legends because we live it, we breathe it. Congo20 is the discount code. You get 20% off. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the Daily Dose podcast. Follow Legends, and shout out to DeAndre Hopkins and Todd. And it's not even us or her or us boasting about it. It's like, this is what's required. This is how it is. And for anybody who wants to be an aspiring entrepreneur like she is, it's not even right to call you just a dog trainer, because you're so much more than that. Because now sitting in this chair, hearing about your father, knowing the specialty of what Jesse James really is to you and how 100%. Jesse attracted me, and then I said I want Sly to be just like that. And when I met her, dude, she gave me a little tour. Hey, no lick. She gave me a little tour of what Jesse does. And this is the first time ever of me getting able to see a dog in action. I saw the dog, called her over, and I'm here. I'm kind of a little nervous because this is my first time in this place, and I'm thinking about him. Jesse's like on her hip, just comes between her legs, and then they get the thing out there, whatever, to do a little bite training. And I'm like, I've never seen this in action before. On call, barking, goes, attacks the handler, and then comes back, downs like nothing happened. I say, yeah, I need Sly to be just like that. So anyways, it's cool to see like that evolution of you, and like it's really who you are and what you do. And just, again, sitting in this chair thinking about how all these things in life happen, all this bad stuff, and look at how bad that moment was in your life. And I consider you a part of like my circle of people, and it brought me to you, and I brought into your life, and all because of Jesse. And it's crazy to think about.
Everything is because of Jesse. The relationships I have now, meeting you, is because of Jesse. Being a dog trainer is because of Jesse. So many people out there right now have Malinois because they met Jesse and wanted a Malinois. Like, that dog is something special. He's a one-of-a-kind dog, and that's why I bred him, because I needed his son, because when he goes, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do, bro. Like, so knowing that I have his son there is like, okay, that's going to help me a little bit, But I wanted to touch up on, I appreciate the entrepreneur part, but I know so many phenomenal trainers that can train the hell out of a dog, even better than me, but they lack business. They don't know how to run a business. They don't know how to build rapport. They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to be professional. They don't know none of these things. And so therefore they never progress, And so you're right. Like you have to work, you have to study, you have to learn this. And I don't want to say I'm not myself when it comes to dog training, but in one day, one shift, I may have 6-7 different clients every hour.
Yeah.
2 of those clients I may not be able to be myself with 100%. You know what I'm saying? I have to be very professional. I have to watch how I speak. I have to almost like chameleon myself to match these people, and not a lot of people have that skill set, not a lot of people can do that. And so it's when you put it in perspective, like, oh, you're an entrepreneur, like it took me a second to think about it, and I'm like, oh, not really. But then I'm like, wait, yeah, because
you definitely are. Because
because I know a lot of trainers that could be training the crap out of all these people's dogs, but they just don't know how to be professional.
And the reason why I have you in that conversation now is because I seen when you made your transition, when the place you were at didn't happen, and you had to make some moves for better for yourself. I said, this is where, and I was just telling my buddy Zane this, shout out to Zane. I was like, this is where you find out if you are who you really think you are or say you are, is when back's against the wall. I'm the best at what I do. Well, let's fuck around and find out. Let's see what I got. So to see you fight through adversity, have all the dogs at the house, still make it work, go through people, rebrand.
It's like a 6-month hiatus.
Don't know what the next thing, and even, I wouldn't say defamation, but a little defamation, because your name was tied to something that wasn't good. Right. So now, just like with me, my shit, I was tied with people that some bad stuff went down, and I don't want, and technically speaking, because the brand is this is the brand name. whatever your brand name was, whatever my brand name was, this is the brand name. And these are the people under the brand name. And then there's me and you. If these people here do some shit to fuck up that up there,
It's
all of
everybody.
it's fucked.
Yeah,
All of
the
it's
rug's
fucked.
pulled out under everybody.
All of it. And to see you overcome that and be, you know, it's crazy you said there's even people better than her. When you said that, I was like, what the fuck did you just say?
No,
'Cause
there's always better.
Because I could agree, but it's like, I think you literally are the best. And that's why I refer so many people to you, because Sly is a special. I love all my dogs, but what you did with Sly and all the compliments I get in the gym, and to see Sly turn into protection mode and bite training, and just the myth of dogs, like you get the people, oh, he's a big dog, he's aggressive, is this that? You shut that shit down so
Stigma.
fast. And I've seen her train dogs like Sly. I've seen her train clients like our clients Sean and Logan. This dope,
Love Sean and Logan.
beautiful Doberman they have. And I've seen him trade little snickerdoodles. Snickerdoodles? What are they? Little Labradoodles, Snickerdoodles,
yeah,
subprimal
everything.
dog. I've
Some
seen
sort
her
of
train
doodle.
everything. So when people ask me, I was like, no, just because she's got tattoos and she works with dogs that look like Sly doesn't mean that's all she does.
No.
She does it all.
Dog training is a dog's language. You know what I'm saying? You gotta. It's
Yeah.
essentially the dog's language. Doesn't matter if it's 3 months old, 3 years old, 13 years old. Like, you know, you're gonna have a conversation as much as you can with an 8-year-old, the same way you would with a 10-year-old, the same way you would with a 12-year-old. Like, you're gonna talk with that person how you can. You know, and it's the same concept for dogs. They're never gonna learn English, so you need to learn how to dog.
Yeah, and I love how you mentioned that the dog trainer and running a business. I don't know if you listen to these at all, but I say that all the time. What separates us is we don't run a gym. We run a business.
And you have a family.
And there's a
You're
difference
close. You
between
take
us
care.
and everybody else, because, you know, being a trainer is different than doing what we do. And what we do is a staple, it's a precedent, it's consistency, it's hard work.
And bro, your people, not to cut you off, but your people are so loyal. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Yeah.
He wasn't lying when he says he sends me clients. Like he literally sends me like 3 clients a month. So thank you guys so much. And every time your clients, they still come back. Like they still come in, they still board, they still whatever they need. And every time they come into my facility, it's always in some Congo gear. And I'm just like, damn, bro, like I need clients like this. Like I need clients that just live in Canine Vibes gear, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so your impact is huge. Like your
Appreciate it.
following is huge. And I'm not saying like 1 or 2, like literally every client you've sent me is always decked out in Congo gear when they come in.
Love it.
Like every time, bro. And so to have that, again, I don't want to call it power, but it is. You have a gift, a power that these people are attracted to,
Yeah.
that they enjoy, that they love, that it makes them a better person, you know? And so why aren't you going to be loyal to something like that? You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you?
For sure.
Bro, ain't nothing taking that from me.
And I think what's cool I got goosebumps thinking about what's cool about that is going back to what you said about how many years, like 8 years it took you to get to where you're at, whatever.
Oh, bro, I've been in this industry for 16 years.
Okay, 16 years, and for you to finally get to where you're at, it was 8+ years to be
Yeah.
like, to get notable.
Literally.
That's what people need to understand is like, there's no
Overnight.
shortcut to success. So everything she's describing about Congo, that shit did not happen within even the 5 years that Congo has been
Yeah.
here. That shit happened when you're in Arizona. That's where that begins. That happens when I'm interning. Like that is where the greatness takes place. And people want to
starts.
skip that step. People want to skip the dirty stuff and not having the vision to see it over through. So for you to say that happened because we were resilient. We
Yep.
never gave up.
Yep.
And finally now overnight success is happening.
Yep.
And guess what? There is no overnight success.
not.
That's why there's no Ozempic. That's why there's no peptides. That's why there's no
Nope.
steroids. At least until I'm 50, we're going to find out if I need them. But I'm not taking them. Jacked, stacked, Congo subs versus the world.
You need to make something for the dogs. We need to like come up with something Congo dogs. You know, you've got a lot of your clients have dogs.
Yeah, what the heck? What's up?
Let's do something like a
skin
vitamin
paw
or
issue.
something. Let's get it.
That's where Bacha and you, or more so you, are going to have to figure that out. We could
Let's
brand
do
it. And it'd be,
I'm with it.
instead of NSF certification, NSF is like the national sports certification for like,
Beautiful.
we can't do it yet because it's a lot of money to have that cert. That's where we create the Canine Vibe certification, and you're the certification,
Let's
and
do
you're
it.
only certified Congo dogs.
Congo canines.
Boom, and then boom, you own 2 entities, and then boom, now all the dogs that you have, You have a
Here we
supplement
go.
to give
Let's
them.
do it.
See?
Because just like
Real-time entrepreneurship.
dogs, or just like humans, dogs need the same. Dogs are athletic. Some of our working dogs, they need to be stretched. They need mobile stuff. Like they need to learn a lot of that stuff. We do have slap mills and treadmills for our dogs. Like there is conditioning for our dogs. Like there's weight pulling. There's like weight vests that we put parachutes on the back of our dogs to build speed and stamina. Like it's the same thing. It's totally the same thing. And times have changed. It's not no more just having a dog and leaving it at home. Like these dogs can do everything. And places are getting so much more like dog friendly now. And because so many people have dogs now versus kids, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
I love you said that. I got a couple things that we're going to close this out with. So this is where you can find, I'll send you stuff too. So there are these videos, and I've sent you some, and I think on your platform, you should do this. Like there's guys in the background talking, watching certain dogs, how they're walking, interacting at a dog park. Oh, this looks like it's going to go well. And this. Next thing you know, they attack each other, and then they're doing this and that. So my question, or I think my thing for you to let the audience know with dogs, you mentioned dog parks and you mentioned daycare.
Yeah, don't do it.
Okay, what are the reasons why? And also, I would love to get you on more content with doing more like teaching and learnings and situations like that. Like when you see that dog, don't, oh, hey, Sly, how you doing? And then he's like, oh my God, your dog is not trained. It's so aggressive. No, dog was in his place.
You like every person
dog
up
was
in your face?
Chilling. Dog was in his place. Dog wasn't chilling. You come down to him. Oh, it's so nice to see you. And then he does that to you, but now I'm the bad guy and he's the aggressive dog.
Yep.
And you're trying to euthanize my dog because you put your fucking face in my dog's face when he was not fucking with nobody.
Yep. So for me, a well-socialized dog is a dog that does not care about other dogs and people. So the biggest thing that a lot of my clients do, number one thing, is they over-socialize their dogs.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is they get, let's say, a breed that has a stigma behind it. Okay, they get a little pit bull or a bulldog, right? And it's 6 weeks old, it's tiny, and they're like, oh, I don't want my dog to be aggressive at all, so I'm just going to let him say hi to everybody. Every person we meet, he's going to say hi to. Every dog we meet, he's going to say hi to, right? Cool, it might work out great for a little bit, but now what you're doing is you're teaching the dog that you are now just literally the leash holder. You mean nothing. You are teaching the dog that there's more value in other people and other dogs than you. So now you're wondering why you're walking your dog and you can't let Fido say hi to Lucy over there because you're in a rush. But every other time you've let Fido say hi to Lucy. And now that he can't, he's throwing a fit. And now he's barking. And now he's screaming. And now you have a reactive dog, right? So for me, socializing is maybe meeting 1 or 2 out of 15, 20 things.
Got it.
Right? So because I want my dog to think I'm the most valuable thing in this room. I don't care if there's 8 dogs, 10 squirrels, and 18 rabbits. My dog is going to find way more value in me than any of those things. And that's just my type of training. That's just me. The reason why I don't do dog daycares and dog parks is because, remember, I started off in a daycare center. A lot of these daycare places, they hire anybody.
Got it.
Okay, they'll pay anybody who'll take $20 an hour. They'll pay them. They bring them in there. These are people that don't know jack shit about animal behavior. They don't know how to read dogs. The second a dog growls and barks, they're like, "Oh my God, no! Put him up! Get him out of here!" And it's like, bro, dogs need to learn how to communicate. Dogs communicate by growling. Dogs communicate by barking. Dogs communicate by snapping. They can't talk. So when your Karen comes over to the dog in his face while he's laying down, and oh my God, the only way he knows how to say, "Excuse me, ma'am, don't do that," is by snapping, is by barking. Doesn't mean the dog is aggressive. He's defending his space. Just like fighters, boxers. We don't teach our kids karate and throw them in their first match on day 1. You teach mechanics. You teach mental state, right? Like calmness, right? You teach how to defend, not go looking for fights. But if you cross this line, motherfucker, it's on. Yeah. And so that's where in daycare, a lot of these fights would break out because nobody knows how to read. There's 50 dogs in one room. One person that doesn't know jack shit about dogs. And that's just not worth
such a recipe
having to deal with that, right? 2, dog parks. 90% of people in dog parks are doing this. And their dogs are way over there. Humping somebody, mounting something, growling at something, which again is okay.
But you've got your dogs that communicate boundaries, and then you've got bullies, just like people. Right? And I don't mean bulldog dogs. I mean like an actual bully coming over, starting shit with you for no reason, being dominant with you when you don't need to. The dog is submitting and rolling over. Why the hell is your dog on top of this dog still? You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. And people don't know how to read that or see that. And all it takes, guys, is one bad thing to happen. One bad thing to happen to ruin the entire like experience for your dog. And it's just not worth it for me. Yeah. And so that's why I tell my clients, stay away from that. You want to socialize so bad, make the time for the dog that you brought into your house, into your life. It was your selfish reason. Whatever the reason is, it was a selfish reason that you got this dog. You owe it to the dog to give it a little bit of time. Hit us up. Let's do a structured socializing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I've got dogs that know how to communicate. I've got dogs that can come out and respect boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Do it in a structured setting because it's just not worth dealing with the reactivity or the scaredness of it because all it takes is one time. And then at the dog park, I'm the type of person like, look, I love all dogs, but I love my dog more.
Yep.
Your dog does anything to my dog, you better know how to fight because I will whoop your ass. Right?
Talking about the dogs or you or both?
The owner. If your dog does some shit to my dog, I'm whooping your dog's ass and I'm whooping your ass. Like, you better not be prepared. You know what I'm saying? So I just rather stay away. I'd stay away. We can be around dogs. We can see dogs. But, bro, I'm more exciting than those dogs. You know?
Said it. There was, what was this guy? I'll have to find the video. We'll have to attach it. He talked about, we were talking about behavior and stuff. And dog's lifespan is like X amount of time. And when the dogs get home and it's so excited to see you, its lifespan already went by this much.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to have that mentality of like the same amount of love that they
you have to
give
bro.
us. Like, and that's how I am. Like I tell Priscilla, like, even when I get home, no matter what happens, when I come home,
you have to.
I'm so like everything goes away, no matter how bad the day is. And when they want to love, I let them love. I let them love because their time's ticking faster than ours, and it's so fucked up. It's that way. And
I was told, the price of having a good dog is a heartbreak.
Oh man.
And we would go through that heartbreak every time to have that dog again and again. Right? But they also teach us that loyalty and they teach us that love, that unconditional love that we were looking for. To us, they're just in our world. Yeah. To them, we're their whole world.
Boom.
Like they wait for us. They look for us. Like, do any of your friends get excited like that with you? Bro, you know what I'm saying? Hey bro, like just it's your cheerleader, bro. It's your biggest hype man. You know what I'm saying? Like the dog it's just crazy how much you can unlock. And this brings me to another thing about the industry before I know you want to close out, but with this industry being unregulated like that, that's the problem with a lot of this is anybody can say they can train your dog. Go out there, train your dog, and you're not going to get those results. You're going to come back here, and it makes us look bad, right? But then there's also those the handlers and the owners that come in, and training is only half of it.
Yeah,
you're the other half.
Yep.
Just like these athletes that train for any game that they have, if they don't practice before a game, that game is shit. If you don't practice and put in what we've taught your dog and you don't continue it, this is one of the only industries where the client isn't always right. You know what I'm saying? I've had those clients where I've had to turn away and say, no, I'm not going to train your dog because I knew they weren't going to do what that dog needed. And I don't need that person to go and say like, oh yeah, we got my dog trained at, Canine Vibes and they didn't do any training. No, you didn't continue it.
Yep.
Dog training is the dog's language. If you don't continue speaking the dog's language, they're going to lose it. Right? And it sucks dealing with that, but it's like, that's the reality of it is you're going to get people like that. Oh, they didn't train my dog. Don't give me that shit. Yeah. You're not doing and following what I told you to do.
I agree 100%. And it reminded me even just Jen Slay and Slay.
Yeah.
How active they are. So he's an athlete. And they have four Cane Corso?
They have 3 now.
3 Cane Corsos. Yep. Damn, forgot about the other one.
Yeah, Kobe.
My bad. 3 Cane Corsos, and they're persistent on, hey, we're going to need training this time. We're going to be out of town, and you go to their
100%.
house,
I pick
or
them
you
up.
pick them up,
Yeah.
and you do that. And that's being a proactive dog owner because they don't have time to do things, but they got this beautiful whole backyard oasis for the dogs. They call you, you keep working on it, and those are Cane Corsos, just like how I was with Sly and the Bully. It's an investment, and they want to protect that investment, and they know that it's an aggressive dog.
Yep, it's
but
got a stigma behind it.
yeah, and that they take the precautions in doing that. So if you go to her, it's on just like training. I give you the workout, but if you're going home eating like shit, you're not gonna look like
Literally.
and get all the stuff that I want.
And I do have the clients that do admit, like, damn, Seven, you're right. Like, I didn't do it. Like, even Jen herself has said it. She's like, yeah, I didn't do it. You know, that's why. Like, yeah, it's going to happen. You know,
Yeah.
just as long as you know, right?
Or if it's Priscilla feeding Sly from the table and you're not supposed to be feeding Sly
Cuddling
from the table,
him
and then
extra
breaking
when he
the
don't need it.
breaking the down and this and that, and then when I
You're
start,
just as bad.
no.
You're just as bad.
You
to
guys
us.
catch me when I'm in love with him doing stuff when we're allowed to, and then I get snitched on.
But this is also a very perfect example of relationship dictates behavior. This dog loves you. Sometimes it's a little too much, you know? You can use some separation here and there, but what a great feeling that is, bro.
It is. It is.
What a great feeling.
It is.
And the accomplishments that you've been going through lately, like knowing your boy had a little bit of issues and you're working through that. Like, it's a great feeling.
yeah.
It's because he trusts you.
That's my guy. And you know what? You still haven't found. And if any of her followers, we are actively looking to properly breed Sly.
Yes.
So if you have a bully,
Yeah.
and this is where you come in with demeanor and look and stuff,
Yep.
we love to properly breed Sly. And I think Taj may be on the lookout for another dog. So that's a possibility,
Let's
but
do
we would
it.
love to have some puppy Slys. And no, Priscilla, I'm not going to keep it unless you say I can keep it. But
It's impossible not to.
I did tell
promise
her,
you.
and I tell people all the time, is like, when I win the lottery, you would know that I would be buying a bunch of land, and I'd hire people like you.
Yeah.
And be like, this whole piece of 5 acres is for all aggressive dogs who do
100%.
not have a home, and this can be their forever home, no matter
100%.
what, and they'll be trained, fed, the best lives of their life. But you know what? If somebody's out there that wants to get the dog, you are more than welcome to get him if we approve of you.
100%.
But
Because
that's-
you can still have an aggressive dog that can't be friends with other dogs and still
Yeah.
live a great, happy life.
But that's what I want, man. It breaks my heart like we talk about it. So when I make it big, I'm gonna have just acres of land, and I'm gonna rescue all these aggressive dogs, and I'm gonna get their training changed
Let's
and
get
make
it.
them loved. Just like we all make mistakes in life, we all burn through stuff in life, and what do? We get loved on by somebody, or somebody blesses us, and we bless the next person. And
Pay it forward, always.
always pay it forward. And we talked about how we treat others, and it was Jim Carrey that said the biggest currency of life is the effect that we have on others. And you talked about money and how that doesn't bring you happiness, and it doesn't bring you all the things, but you care about how you treat people and how you made people feel, and because of that, you are going to be successful. Canine Vibes is going to go to places that you can't even imagine yet, but if you have that faith and your 10 toes down mentality and doing good to
Yeah.
others, anything's possible. And look how far you've come now, and never stop. As you know, it's in our bloodline. It's the backs against the wall mentality.
Yeah.
That's why we fuck with each
Get
other.
comfortable being uncomfortable.
Get comfortable and uncomfortable. And to close this out, we're going to take another shot at tequila. We don't have any.
Let's get it.
We're going to get the Don Gato because it's the Canine Vibes. We got to get
Yeah,
this
the
color.
retro colors. I love it.
It
They're
was,
smart about it.
It was an honor to hear your story, Seven.
Bro, it was an honor just hanging out with you. Like you said, we don't really have time to hang out.
damn
And
it.
I love you, man. You're my family. You stood behind me when all that crap happened. Like, you had my back. You knew me for me. Like I said, you literally send me like 3 clients a month.
Anybody else I'm forgetting who I sent to you?
Oh,
They
bro,
got the
wait,
Corsos.
So many. We talked about Foray, Kanika. You sent Kanika
Oh, yeah,
to
Kanika.
me, and Kanika sent a couple people to
Nice.
me.
Saying Sean. They had the Labradoodle or Snickerdoodle. What is it? A Labrador? What is it? Is it what are those dogs called?
Which
The
Sean
puffy
are you
ones that are
talking about?
hypoallergenic. They don't shed.
Oh, yeah,
but
it's a
they're
doodle.
a
Yeah,
doodle.
it's a labradoodle or golden doodle. Yep. And then I don't know why
You would have 2 doodles.
It's
Primal.
it's on the tip of my tongue. It was a Frenchie. What was his name?
Oh, Leeds and Megan.
Leeds.
Yeah.
Megan. Yes.
Work on your training, just like
Yes.
your bench press leads.
Oh yeah. Yes. 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 But they were also ones that were like we know it's us. We got to do more. But it's a good dog. They all have very good dogs.
I wish you nothing but more and more success. It's an honor to
Likewise.
have you a part of this family and taking care of Sly. Aaron, if you want,
Forever.
after this, we're gonna get Nina to make an appearance, so you can open the door after we hit the toast. It's Congo Subs versus the world. It's Canine Vibes versus the world. If they
get
say
it.
they're the best and they're not the best, we're gonna call you out on it. We got 7. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Is a
Don
pleasure.
Gato Tequila. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it! Like, subscribe, share. K9 Vibe 7, the best. Appreciate you. Daily Dose, episode
you.
2. We out.